Welcome back to the Wise Mind Sky podcast, the podcast where we peel back the layers of the mind like an onion, minus the tears, hopefully. I'm Nat Plastino, and today we're diving into a topic that affects everyone, whether you realize it or not. Ego versus persona, or as I like to call it, the real you versus the mask you wear. Now don't get me wrong, we all wear masks. No, not the superhero kind, although that would be cool. But the psychological kind. The ones we put on to navigate society, work, relationships, and that one family gathering where Aunt Karen always asks you, why are you still single? So let's break it down. Who are you, really? And who are you pretending to be? Alright, so let's start with the ego. The term ego, gets thrown around a lot. We hear things like, wow, his ego is bigger than Texas, or that diva needs to have an ego check. But in psychology, particularly in the teachings of Freud and Carl Jung, the ego isn't some overconfident peacock strutting around. It's simply you, the part of you that experiences reality, makes choices, and balances your wild instincts with what society expects. Think of the ego like a ship captain, the captain of a ship. It's steering the boat, making sure you don't crash into the rocks, while also making sure you don't go full pirate and start stealing your coworker's lunch from the fridge. Believe me, I've seen it happen. But here's the catch. While the ego is you, it's often buried under layers of persona. And that brings us to, what is the persona? The persona. The polished, Instagram-filtered version of you. The one who nods politely in meetings, even though your inner ego is screaming, this could have been an email. The persona is the mask you wear to fit into different roles. Professional, friend, partner, cool person at the coffee shop who totally knows how to pronounce cappuccino correctly. Carl Jung, the psychologist, described the persona as the social mask we put on to function in the world. And let's be honest, some of us have entire wardrobes of masks. The customer service voice mask, the pretend I love this gift mask, the yes, I totally understand tax forms mask. We craft these masks because society expects it. If you walked into your office tomorrow and started talking like your true inner self, half the people would slowly back away from you and maybe dial HR. Now here's the $1 million question. Why does this even matter? Isn't it good to have a well-adjusted persona? Well, yes and no. A persona helps you function, sure. But the problem arises when you get so attached to the mask that you forget there's a real person underneath. It's like method acting gone wrong. You play the role so well that you lose sight of yourself. Ever met someone who is always on? Like they never drop the act? The always positive influencer? The ultra serious boss? The overly agreeable friend? It's exhausting just thinking about it. Living purely through a persona is like wearing a Halloween mask 24/7. It gets sweaty, it gets uncomfortable, and so at some point you forget what you actually look like underneath. So how do we reconnect with the real you? All right, so if you're all walking around playing roles, how do we reconnect with the real us? How do we let our ego breathe a little bit? Step one is self-awareness. Start noticing when you're putting on the persona. Is it at work, on dates, when meeting new people? Once you start catching yourself switching masks, you'll begin to realize how often it happens. Step two is give yourself permission to be authentic. That doesn't mean you should suddenly start sharing your deepest fears with the barista at the coffee shop, but it does mean checking in with yourself before automatically slipping into a persona. Ask, is this really me? Step 3 is find safe places to be yourself. Maybe it's with close friends, family, or even when you write in your journal, if you do. Anywhere you can, drop the act and just be. Step 4 is play with vulnerability. Now I know vulnerability can be scarier than any horror movie you watch, but hear me out. The more you allow people to see the real you, flaws and all, the less exhausting life becomes. Plus, real connections are built on honesty, not on perfect personas. So let's wrap this up with a challenge. Over the next week, try catching yourself in a persona moment. See if you can take off the mask, even just for a second. And if you're feeling bold, drop me a message on social media or on this podcast. There's other ways you can do it, of course, on YouTube and so forth. Tell me about your experience. Did you shock someone by being unexpectedly real? Did you scare yourself? Did you finally tell Aunt Karen, I'm single because I choose to be? Thank you very much. And at the end of the day, both ego and persona have their place. We need the persona to navigate the world. We need the ego to remind us who we really are. Balance is key, like adding just the right amount of creamer to your coffee. Too little and it's bitter. Too much and you're basically drinking just a milkshake. That's it for today's episode of the Wise Mindset Podcast. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might need a little ego check or persona check. Until next time, stay real, stay curious, and most importantly, stay you.